If you're new and you want to follow along for more, like, sub, bell. Hello, this is Puddle, welcome back. I've been in online art communities as far back as 2008. I've seen a lot of the fights and sides about the wildest things, and I don't like creating rifts, but I'm gonna start with the stuff that I think is the least controversial and work my way up, okay? Don't worry, you didn't click on the thumbnail for no reason. We'll get there. First off, I've heard opposing sides about this thing a lot over the last decade as I took art classes, watched webinars, and read from the opinions of experts, but the whole dividing your attention while making art or comics or whatever thing, teachers have tried to instill this in me for years, and I hear it a lot that music or audiobooks are bad to divide your attention with while making art, which is just wild to me. I think if you're making something concentration intensive and you can't get it right with distractions, I understand pausing the music, but not all of us are like that. Sometimes I need something to intentionally ignore while I'm working and to conveniently fill in the gaps between when I'm thinking about the work, or I need the mindset shift that can get me in to match the flow for the thing that I'm doing. And that can be great for music, with lyrics or without. Now there's this weird notion that splitting your attention at all while creating prevents your work from being made to its fullest, but it's so case by case for everyone that I feel like it's pointless to make a thing out of it. If it's right or it's wrong or professional or not, I don't think it really matters at all if you listen to audiobooks, classical music, slam poetry, ASMR, TV, podcasts, whatever. It's your workflow. It hurts no one, so who cares if it's better or not? Nobody really cares enough to die on this hill, right? So, that said, hills. The benefits and consequences of tracing as practice, whether or not to use references. I'm sorry, I know this isn't what you came here for, but who cares what other people are doing? The art community is so massive. Why die on any of these hills? I'm not saying to accept things without question, of course not. But say that some popular artist is promoting a workflow method that you do not approve of. Okay, tons of people might agree with them, or not. Maybe you don't even really have a side yourself and you just want to know what everyone else is talking about. But what could be interesting thought exercises so often turn into, fighting for clout. And it seems almost pointless, right? But here we are. Here I am. Here you are. Welcome, by the way. And I'll just be a second here. Real quick thank you to all the tiers of my Patreon constellation. I make a lot of stuff, and y'all are the ones that make it possible. So thank you. Reposting is good, actually. Hear me out. With the ever-shifting dynamic of social media and how we rely upon it as artists, I would argue that reposts are important. The feed is flying by, no matter the platform that you're on. Chances are you've missed some posts. In fact, it's probably healthier that you miss the feed and don't see every single post. But in the case for most artists, this means pouring hours into a piece or a project, posting it, and then after the initial surge of impressions, the post is left to, die. Our culture online for sharing relies on speed, and everything going by so quickly creates this demand for more and more just to feel seen in this sea of content. And if you're an artist or a creator, reposting should not be controversial, and here's my hot take. If you're a fan of an artist, you shouldn't mind liking the same post twice if you see it twice. And if it's not abundantly clear by now, when I say reposting, I mean the artist has the right to repost their same content multiple times to the same account. That means sharing the same piece on Instagram multiple times with different hashtags and crops, the same links and images to Twitter at different time slots, and even, dare I say it, as someone who animated an entire web series by themselves in 2019 that YouTube won't recommend now, even YouTube uploads. I am not talking about repost accounts that steal work, with or without credit, but you clicked on this thinking that was my take, didn't you? And that leads me to my next and final take about art and the art community. This is the real reason I made this video. Thank you for sticking around. Let's get to the point. I think that there is a real problem when it comes to drama and the repetitive debates that we cycle through every couple months. Social media impressions are driven by engagement. Likes and dislikes both promote a video. Just by clicking the share button or copying the link is an impact on any social media platform. Every second that you spend on a video or a post promotes it. Every time it shows in your feeds and you don't completely ignore it, every second that you watch it, even if you're logged out, and every time that you leave a comment, just clicking on the thumbnail, even hate watching, it is telling the algorithm to share it to more people and people who have similar watch patterns to you. And nothing gets clicks quite like name-dropping, outlandish claims, and gossip videos. Hell, so many channels that used to be about art became commentary channels that just viewed all the time. And really, it did help them. Their platforms gained traction and viewers, but there's always just so much anger And there's this weird culture forming where so many people who don't like each other are still choosing to constantly, publicly interact with one another, yelling over their fan bases. And we're clicking on it because, sorry, I know I don't speak for everyone, but we're afraid of not knowing what's going on, or we're morbidly curious about who said what, who did what this time. It's about what gets clicks. The same recycled talk about fixing art, drama between people we've never met, or even something as bland and milquetoast as unpopular art community opinions. We engage if the thumbnail gets an immediate reaction out of us, and if the uploader did their job right, you'll find at least a little bit of minor relief when you heard the same takes that you've heard 100 times before. Maybe you even feel a little endeared to them and you want to see more of what they've made now. Hint, hint.